A Chapman sophomore swimmer is making huge splashes in the deaf community. Samantha Fuji will be competing in the Deaf Olympics later this year. Our reporter Aussie Han spoke to her last week to hear about her feat.
The Deaf Olympics is the largest competition in the world for deaf athletes. Chapman sophomore swimmer Sammy Fuji is one of 12 swimmers representing Team USA this year. She was shocked and excited to make the team.
I really need to go for it, and I made it, which I was shocked.
Sammy, who was born deaf, has been swimming competitively for over 9 years. She competed in the World Deaf Swimming Championship in 2019. In 2022, she competed in the Deaf Olympics for the first time, where she placed gold in the 4x100 freestyle relay. She appreciated meeting other deaf athletes from around the world.
I get to interact with all these other people from different countries, make more new friends.
She has received praise from friends and family, especially from her coach, Juliet Seuss.
We're so excited for her. Can't wait to cheer her on. We'll probably host some sort of watch party or something for her races while she's there.
While Sammy hopes to improve her times from last year, she is most excited to see her international friends, create new memories, and see the sights of Tokyo.
I had a very fun experience for the last one, so I was like, why not do it again?
This is Aussie Han reporting for Chapman News.
Orange, a long-standing tradition has been put on hold. The Chamber of Commerce says that while the city's deficit played a role, it was not the only reason for the cancellation. The Chamber told Chapman News, quote, "While we did see an increase from the city, it was not the sole reason for the cancellation. The cost to organize this parade has increased to $100,000. This cost would place a large financial burden on the Chamber." Chamber officials say they are not sure if the parade will return, but that they're focused on supporting local businesses in Orange. Gambling is on the rise, especially among young people, which is raising concerns. Chapman News reporter Aussie Han has more.
From online slots to casinos to sports betting, one thing is clear: Americans love to gamble. According to the National Problem Gambling Helpline, 60% of U.S. adults have gambled in the past year. Among college students, that number is even higher, with 3 out of 4 saying they've gambled within the past year as well.
I only sports bet on the NFL. When I go to the casino, I would say it's around 25% poker and 75% like table.
Chapman University sophomore Weston Little says he started gambling as a teenager and sees it more as a hobby.
I just thought it was fun.
But experts warn that early exposure can come with serious risks. Dr. Timothy Fogg, a co-director of UCLA's Gambling Studies program, says young people are especially vulnerable.
We also know that the younger people are when they start gambling, and the more frequent they start gambling, that tends to be one of the biggest risk factors to develop gambling addiction.
A member of Orange County Gambling's Anonymous shares how it impacted his college experience.
My first semester of freshman year of college, I had like a 2.3 because I was not really listening to the lectures and I was just betting on games in class and stuff.
As gambling becomes easier to access, experts and recovery groups are urging people to stay informed and seek help when needed.
We've created a society that promotes and celebrates and embraces gambling, and particularly for the young people where they say, well, everyone's doing it and everyone's talking about it, why can't I? And I think that's an important area of distinction to say, no, this is still an adult activity.
I'm Aussie Han reporting for Chapman News.
But flower season may look a little different here in California this year. The State Parks Department says there will be a limited wildflower bloom this year, or what we commonly know as a super bloom. The department states it's because of our dry winter and lack of rain. This is the second year the state will go without a super bloom, with the last one occurring in 2023. There is speculation about the future of Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth today. This comes after news that Hegseth once again shared sensitive information in a private group chat. That chat reportedly included information about military strikes in Yemen and has shared with his brother, wife, and personal lawyer. Hegseth claims that the information was not classified and thus was not a security risk.
was informal, unclassified coordinations for media coordination and other things. That's what I've said from the beginning.
The White House press secretary told the media this morning President Trump still has confidence in Hegseth and he will continue to serve as Secretary of Defense.
The president absolutely has confidence in Secretary Hegseth. I spoke to him about it this morning and he stands strongly behind him.
San Juan residents are speaking out against a proposed battery storage facility in Rancho Capistrano. In 2024, Saddleback Church sold a portion of its land to the company Energy Storage. They plan to build a large-scale battery storage system, but the proposal has sparked backlash from the community. Residents and local nonprofits have begun organizing, saying there are safety and environmental risks.
To put these facilities that are like bombs because they can explode, and to have them in neighborhoods.
Andrea Kelly Crean, granddaughter of the original landowners, launched a petition against the project, which has gained more than 3,000 signatures. Around the same time, the city placed a temporary ban on the development until next April, saying they need to develop further research into the project.
The City of Orange is preparing to release a new budget for the upcoming fiscal year. The city is projected to once again be in a deficit, with the budget gap exceeding $1 million. That's despite the fact that the city has cut several programs and reduced expenses by over $13 million. Popular events like the July 3rd fireworks show, summer concerts, and the holiday tree lighting ceremony are expected to once again be canceled unless alternative funding can be found. The City Council does hope to bring the events back in the future.
Perhaps let's try a year going down that road, and maybe we could bring back a fireworks display next year, should the budget allow.
The proposed budget is expected to go through additional revisions before the council's final approval.
I'm Aussie Han, here with all of your latest sports news. First, Anaheim's mayor is calling for a name change to the Los Angeles Angels. Mayor Ashley Aitken has made a public letter to the Angels team management. She says that the team name should be changed to the Anaheim Angels. That was the official name from 1997 to 2005. Mayor Aitken says she's a proud fan of the Angels and hopes to improve communication between the city and team ownership. While the city of Anaheim technically owns Angels Stadium, the team's organization is responsible for its operation. The NFL hasn't said if it will take action against the son of the Atlantic Falcons defensive coordinator after prank calling Shedeur Sanders. Jax Ubrick's claimed to be the general manager of the Saints, telling Sanders that he would be their next pick last Friday. Sanders was a first-round prospect coming into the NFL draft, but fans and analysts were baffled when he slipped to a fifth-round pick for the Browns, who already drafted a quarterback. The Falcons issued an apology, and the NFL are investigating the matter. The NBA playoffs are heating up in their second week. The Oklahoma City Thunder swept the Grizzlies to advance to the Western Conference semifinals. The Clippers and Nuggets will face off tonight at 7 p.m. Tomorrow, it's the Timberlands versus the Lakers and the Rockets versus the Warriors. Meanwhile, in the Eastern Conference, the Cavaliers swept the Miami Heat, advancing to their semifinals. Today, the Pacers will face off at the Bucks at 3 p.m., the Knicks versus the Pistons at 4:30, and the Celtics versus Magic at 5 p.m. Cal Poly's slow swim and dive team are fighting to keep their program after the school abruptly dropped the sport last month. I talked to one student athlete who is determined to fight that decision. Sophomore swimmer Sofia Vargas and her teammates were caught completely off guard last month by the decision to cut their swim and dive program.
Walked to this random science building, and at that point it was like 7:30, and then they announced that they were cutting the program.
In an email, Cal Poly SLO blames the shrinking state budget and mounting NCAA legal issues. Now, the team is fighting to save their program. They need to raise at least $20 million, a daunting challenge. So far, the team has raised $7.5 million.
We hope that people like see us and see our story and want to make a donation or really just help us in any way.
However, Vargas is frustrated by the way Cal Poly SLO has handled the matter. She says it has now tainted her memory in view of the school.
I'm gonna remember how they treated us and how they've caused a lot of pressure and stress and anxiety for us.
To support Cal Poly Swim and Dive, you can follow their Instagram page at SafeCPSwimDive. That's all I have for today. I'm Aussie Han, and I will see you soon.
Irvine's Great Park is getting ready to announce some big changes. Irvine will be unveiling new developments at the State of the Great Park event, which the public is invited to attend. Organizers say it will include a unique look at the past, present, and future of the park. There will also be interactive exhibits from community partners, including the Anaheim Ducks and Pretend City Children's Museum. The event gets underway today at 4 p.m.
Thanks, Maddie and Keston. Sports everywhere are seeing some serious shakeups. The LA Kings, who were eliminated this past weekend from the Stanley Cup playoffs, are making a change at the top. General manager Rob Blake has left the team. He led the Kings to the Stanley Cup playoffs 5 times, but never won the championship. With Blake out, the team has yet to announce a replacement, but coach Jim Hiller says the shakeup won't impact team operations. It was lights off and away we go at the Miami Grand Prix, and fans are calling it the most memorable race weekend so far. The race weekend started with some exciting news. Max Verstappen welcomed a baby with girlfriend Kelly Piquet. On race day, drivers started the day with a unique twist as they all rode in life-size Lego replicas of their cars. Finally, McLaren finished with a 1-2 podium, with Oscar Piastri in first place and Lando Norris following behind. This has put Piastri in first place in the driver's standing and kept McLaren at the top of the Constructors' Championship. From big hats to big numbers, the Kentucky Derby shattered records this weekend. NBC says over 21.8 million people tuned into the race, making it the most watched Derby to ever air. Celebrities like Simone Biles, Guy Fieri, and Alex Earl donned the race with dashing hats and outfits. However, it was not only the stars that stole the show. Each horse is a descendant from the famous racing horse Secretariat. On race day, Sovereignty won the 151st Derby and was followed by race favorite horse Journalism. Now, an inspiring story of how one Chapman student overcame a health challenge to get back to her sport. I sat down with her to hear how she's making her comeback. Take a look.
Losing the ability to ski was more heartbreaking to me than losing the ability to walk.
That's how junior A.K. Nelson felt when she learned that she would no longer be able to ski. A.K. started skiing as a young child and said that she loves the sport.
So the idea that I could go fast was I wanted to be, it was free.
However, all that changed when she was 12 years old and diagnosed with Still's disease. It's a rare type of inflammatory arthritis. At one point, AK had a flare-up that was devastating, causing her to stop her skiing career.
So I continued to ski until I literally couldn't. I would do one run a day because it was all I could handle.
At first, she was heartbroken. Her family and partner encouraged her to try sit skiing, which was difficult to adapt to.
I hadn't really even processed the loss, and so it was every day that I got up and went to the adaptive lesson center and got in that rig, it was just throwing it in my face all over again.
However, she continued to train and eventually competed in her first official sit ski season, where she placed in multiple competitions and even competed in nationals.
It was my first ever FIS medal. I never even won a FIS medal as an able-bodied racer. It was just opening a whole new world.
Continuing her skiing journey and hoping to compete in the Paralympics by 2030. If you would like to support AK on her journey to ski again, you can check out her GoFundMe page at gofundme.com/helpalexaskiagain. And that's all I have for the latest sports roundup. For Chapman News, I'm Aussie Han.
Orange County is celebrating some talented high school artists. The OC Artist of the Year ceremony happened last week. This year, there were nearly 1,000 nominees for 7 categories. Jennifer Kim, one of the winners for media arts, said she was honored to win the award. She told Chapman News that she is, quote, grateful for the opportunity to share my work with a wider audience and to use it as a way to meet and connect with amazing people, engage in meaningful conversation, and gather and understand their insights that motivates me to keep creating. Piper Rovsek, one of the Dance Artists of the Year, said she is also grateful for the recognition. She told Chapman News, quote, it makes me proud to be an artist and to share a title with such talented, like-minded youth who all have a vision for how they can use their art to change the world. Other winners were in categories including film and TV, vocal and instrumental music, fine art, and theater. Congratulations to these talented students.